welcome to my very first video learning about shared reading. It's going to allow us to do some learning together. So what is shared reading? This is what you can find on the internet. It's an interactive reading experience. That means it's between two people and we're both going to be taking turns doing this reading. Students sharing reading materials with a teacher's support. So it's not just you, it's not just me, it's us together. I'm going to help you with books, even books that are really hard to understand and to get more out of it. Teacher modeling good reading skills like fluency and expression. Fluency is how easily you can read a word, and expression is giving it feeling and emotion. So we're going to work on not just getting the words out, but reading in a way that makes sense and has some emotion behind it. The teacher and the student digging deeper into the text, asking questions, making connections, sharing experiences. We're not just going to try and look at those words. We want to make them real. We want to connect them to things that matter to us. We want to make this text kind of come alive in our own minds. When that text starts to come alive, that's going to give us that deeper level of understanding. It's going to mean more to us, it's going to be more relevant, and we're going to enjoy what we're reading more. Hopefully. That's the goal. I want to enjoy reading with you, and I want you to enjoy reading with me. Reading can be a wonderful way to live outside of your own experience, to imagine what it's like to be somewhere else, to be someone. But these aren't just skills to help you enjoy reading. I really want you to enjoy reading, but it's also an important thing that you need to be successful. You need to be able to understand what you read when you have an email from your boss in the workforce. When you are talking to somebody in real life, having a deeper understanding of what people are saying, even that spoken word, is going to help you. It's going to help you in relationships, and it's going to help you to succeed. So yes, this is shared reading, but hopefully we're getting some skills to go beyond that. So what's it going to look like? Shared reading is going to look like you and me sitting together with a book. We're going to leave the classroom, we're going to go out into the hallway, and we are going to take turns reading out loud. You're going to read a little bit. I'm going to read a little bit. Sometimes we're going to stop and we're going to do something else. We're not just going to read. We're going to ask questions. What's going on? What's happening here? Why did that person say that? How do you think they feel? Digging in, getting a better understanding of why the author decided to put those words and those actions into their story. Sometimes we're not going to know the answer. We're not going to know what's going on. We're going to be really confused. We're not going to know what they're talking about. And that's when we can look up more information. We're going to be able to create better pictures in our head if we know what in the world it is that author is talking about. We're going to understand a society better if maybe we learn a little bit about their history. How do they treat each other? What is their culture? And then it's going to make more sense to us, and we're going to have a better understanding of what we're reading. So what are we going to be doing while reading? I'm going to have some notes. It's going to be our daily notes on our reading log. We're going to think about things like, what's the point of view? Is the author pretending to be in the story themselves, or are they just talking about other characters? Do they know everything going on in the person's brain, or are they just kind of observing the world around them? We're going to think about, where's the setting? Who are the characters? What's the conflict? Is it an internal conflict? Is it an external conflict? Who is that conflict with, and how can it get resolved? We're going to ask questions. We're going to make predictions. Sometimes there's going to be words that are tricky, and we're going to work on decoding and figuring out why those words are hard to read and how to break apart those really big, complex words and make them easier so that our fluency is improved. Sometimes there are going to be words in there that we just don't know. So the example that I have up here is about Gulliver's Travels, and in that book is the word Lilliputian. Well, what in the world is a Lilliputian? Maybe we're going to just stop, and we're going to go and look it up. So, Lilliputian, trivial, very small, a very small person or thing. Lilliput, and Blefuscu. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it, but looks good. They're these island nations that are in the book of Gulliver. Oh, so these words didn't exist until Jonathan Swift, the person who wrote Gulliver's Travels, wrote about these imaginary places. So that's why it's kind of a strange sounding word. I wonder if I can imagine what Lilliputian looks like. Let's look it up. Oh, I've seen this movie. Yeah, these Lilliputians are these tiny little guys, and they are kind of scared of this big giant, but Gulliver doesn't know he's a giant, because back in England where he's from, he's just a regular guy. Cool. So now we've got some more ideas about what's going on there. We can also look at things like the thoughts and the feelings the characters have, how those thoughts and those feelings help them to create the plans that they create. Then we're going to maybe question that. Was that a good plan? Would you have done that plan? What do you think about that? Why do you think they chose that? We're going to learn details about characters in the book. We're going to store that information in our people files. Who is this person? Why do we need to know that little detail? Why do you think the author included that description? Are those characters going to change over the course of the book? Probably. Are you the same person today that you were 5 years ago? Probably not. There are things that are going to change. There's going to be new things that we learn about characters and new ways that they behave because of what happens. So we're going to work through all of this and figuring that out together. So here is a question I know you are going to be very curious about. How long is this going to last? Well, once or twice a week, 10 to 15 minutes. I'll take you out in the hall. We're going to do our reading. The easier it is to get into the book and the faster we get started, the less time that you'll be out there in the hallway. Now, if you really, really, really like it, maybe we can stretch it out. But if you want it done, you get that 10 minutes in, you work hard, that can be the end of it. In exchange for coming out and working on this, you don't have to do the mystery word or the editing work. So really, it's a pretty fair trade. You're going to come out and do 10 minutes of reading, and you're going to lose about 10 minutes of independent work. So, hopefully this makes sense. Hopefully you are excited or at least willing to give something new a try. Can't wait to get outside reading with you.